So a couple days ago, I put out this tweet asking if you had 1 ETH, how would you allocate it into Illuvium? It had 173 votes, and here are the results. We had 62% say to put it all into ILV. Next up was 18% saying put it into land. We had 13% half ILV, half ETH for the SLP pool, and then 7% going with Illuvium Beyond discs. We had a lot of people in here saying that just sticking with the ILV is going to be the best bet. And some of the questions that I see coming up the most that I either get DM'd for or things that I see popping up on Twitter is just what would be the best bet in the Illuvium ecosystem. And while I don't claim my allocation to Illuvium is the best, I thought it'd be fun just to have a quick video and go through how my money is allocated into Illuvium. Now, while I do consider myself all in on Illuvium, it is only about 25% of my total crypto portfolio. But here's what we got so far. So we will start with this yellow sliver. SILV2. So about 3% in SILV2. That is a number that was higher before Illuvium Beyond came out. I would say it might have even been closer to 10%, but I used most of it on Illuvium Beyond, and I am waiting for SILV2 to drop compared to ILV to buy some more. I bought most of my SILV2 when it was about 40% of an ILV, and right now it's currently sitting at about 90%. So I want to wait till it gets back down at least under 80%, ideally under 70%. At this point, unsure if that's ever going to happen. But I do plan on picking up more SILV2 and having that allocation at least over 5%, maybe closer to 10% of this Illuvium portfolio. So let's move on to this red sliver over here. So ILV. Now this is one of the smallest allocations I have in here. This is just for holding liquid ILV. So this isn't the ILV I'm staking, and that'll be a different sliver we'll talk about in a second. So 2% I have in ILV, and the reason why I have it just liquid and not staked is because that's the little bit that I want to use to take profits on if for any reason the price of ILV, really shoots up over a short period of time. So right now ILV is sitting around $60. If for some reason over the next month or two ILV shoots up to $200 or $250, that's the ILV that I'll sell off for a little bit of profit in hopes to buy back in if it dips down a little lower. The other small bit is Ethereum, and the reason why I'm putting this in my Illuvium portfolio is because for my IMX account, which is basically being used for Illuvium Beyond right now, but it will be used for all parts of the game. So the ETH that I have sitting in that IMX account that I'm using to flip some Illuvitars. When I do want to get into the ecosystem, I'm usually buying discs, which I'm using SILV2 for. But when I sell them off, I have some ETH, and that's what I'm using to flip with. So let's get into some bigger slices of the pie. So my staked SLP, or the Sushi Liquidity Pool, which is half ILV and half ETH. When I started getting into this staking pool, I feel like close to 2 years at this point. I remember this paying out 600% APY. It has since gone down significantly, and I think we're sitting around 65%, maybe 70%, which all in all is still a pretty good percentage. I haven't added to this part of my portfolio in close to 6 months, but recently with Illuvium Beyond, I was able to pull a Blazing Ramfire, which I sold for 6.85 ETH, and I figured with all that extra Ethereum, I should probably try to spread it around a little bit. So right around that time where I got that extra ETH, I had my unlocks from a year ago when we switched over to staking V2. So I took those unlocks in ILV, I coupled it with my ETH, and I added more into this pool. But now I really feel like I'm going to stop adding into this pool. There's only about another year of the APY rewards. And then after that, most of your earnings from your staked ILV or in the SLP is going to come from RevDis. And I think having that in ILV is going to be the better option. So the next sliver I'm going to look at here is my staked ILV. That's only 9%. And if you look at it compared to the SLP pool, it is much smaller amount. And there's two reasons why it's a smaller amount. So for a while, every time I would unlock a little chunk of my ILV, I would actually just couple it with ETH and put it back into the SLP. Now, like I said, I'm at a point where I think I'm done with that. So I'm just going to start accumulating it more in ILV. And the other thing that you have to think about here is that ILV was at one point up at $1,900, and it's currently sitting at $60. So that allocation was a lot bigger at one point and has since shrunk down. But I think this sliver of the pie, this staked ILV, is going to be the one sector that is going to grow the most for me over the next couple years. All right, so 15% is into Illuvitars. Now, I had really no intention to go big into Illuvitars. I'm sure you could dig up some tweets with me saying I wasn't really interested. I remember having a couple messages back and forth with Kieran telling him I might buy some alpha discs, but I probably won't buy the regular discs. I ended up buying some discs. And because early on I got really lucky and got that Blazing Ramfire, I decided I was just going to go all in on that. So after I sold the Blazing Ramfire for 6.85 ETH, I ended up leaving 1 ETH in IMX, and I've been using that to buy discs and flip some Illuvitars and really build up my collection. So right now it's at 15%. I don't think it's going to go too much higher, but I am in the top 100 on the leaderboards, and I'm going to try to maintain that spot as long as I can until I feel like it's out of reach. The last section we have here is my land. Now this is 42%, and even when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking that's probably too big of a percentage for Illuvium, but I do have high hopes for the returns that are going to come out of it. Now, the reason why it's so big is that back in June 2022, when the land sale happened, I was able to purchase this with SILV2, which, if I remember correctly, was closer to about a 40% discount. And as all of crypto prices trended down from there, the land held up better in terms of Ethereum, whereas my actual ILV and SILV2 dropped down significantly. So when I bought this land, it was a much smaller percentage, but because it's actually kept a decent floor price, it's up to 42% right now. Now, my main goal in all of crypto, especially Illuvium, is how I can get the most return on my investment. So on the right here, I have my monthly earnings from this. So for the ILV, SILV2, and ETH, there's going to be no monthly earnings. For my staked ILV, right now, I'm earning about 0.3 ILV per month. It's really not too much right now. That comes out to about $19. In my staked SLP, I'm earning about 2.7 ILV per month. So that's looking a little better, around $174. Keep in mind for this staked ILV and SLP, this is only the staking rewards. This is not considering revenue distribution that we do expect to start accumulating real soon, starting with wave 2 of the Illuvitars in about a month and a half. Now for Illuvitars, we're still waiting on that official announcement for the leaderboard rewards to start coming out. But right now, I'm in a comfortable spot in the top 100. So I expect to be earning that 0.5 ILV per week. So right now, I'm saying my Illuvitar collection is going to be giving me a return of 2 ILV per month. And then land right now is at 0. When open beta does come out later this year, the land will start making a return. And if I go with an estimate just based on how much dollar amount is in the land to how much return I can get, it's a little less than double than what I have in my staked SLP pool. Even be conservative with it, I think that could earn me close to $300 in ETH. So what would that be? That's just a guess. But that would mean around these current prices, I would be getting a return of around $616 per month. And again, that doesn't look like a whole lot with the amount of money that I have put into this. But I look at things in the future. And with price appreciation, especially ILV, I think could easily go 10x, even 20x, possibly even 30x. And in Ethereum could go, I think, 5x from here easily to $10,000. So let's just say on average between the ILV and ETH, we get about a 5x from here. So that would put me at a monthly earnings of over $3,000. Now, say we're really towards the top of the market and we have close to a 10x between those two. All of a sudden, my monthly returns just from Illuvium are over $6,000. And like I said, my goal is just to get as much earnings as possible out of all this. This is not including revenue distribution. This is not including using scholars or sponsees to help farm the overworld. This is not including any arena leaderboard rewards that we might get. So this number could go much higher. So this is how my Illuvium portfolio looks like. Again, this is only about 25%, maybe even a little lower, maybe 22, 23% of my entire crypto portfolio. And I can make another video that shows my whole crypto portfolio if anyone out there is interested. Comment down below. I really like to make videos to cater to my audience here. So if you really don't care what my portfolio looks like outside of Illuvium, then I don't need to make that video. But if you're interested, let me know. I could get into my ETH Lizards holdings, Fancy Birds, Mavia, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, all the other stuff that I hold. But yeah, I'm interested down below on how your money is allocated into Illuvium. Also remember, none of this is financial advice. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.